want to get started? Great. So I'm Christi Wruck. I'm a senior product manager for Canvas, and I've been here for about 3 years. Not here in Keystone. It's only been a couple of days. Whoa, that's loud. Hey, you guys hear me all right? Jeez. So we're here to talk about the new gradebook, Phase 1. First, I just wanted to remind you guys that there's this page in the community that talks about all of the Phase 1 things and the Phase 2 things. We're not going to go into detail about Phase 2 things today, but it's all here if you're interested. The community rocks, and there's a lot of really good stuff in there, so go check it out. So if you want to start trying out the new gradebook, this is the list of Phase 1 features we have ready for you today in production behind a feature flag. So this isn't going to be available to the whole world, and there's reasons for that. I know it's really exciting to get early access, and you all want me to tell you how to do that right now, but there's some stuff I want to go over before we do that, okay? So this is partial Phase 1, and this is where we'll be when we're done with Phase 1. So there's some pretty significant features that are going to come, all cameras, that's all I see, that are gonna land in production in this new gradebook, again, behind a feature flag, over the next 6 months. And these are not insignificant. These are day-to-day disruptors. So this isn't for everybody. This gradebook, sorry, you want me to go back for a minute? Give it a minute. Okay. Man, I got tablets going up. This is all in the community. This isn't like super secret. Okay, so change is hard. This is not for, we don't want the entire everybody in the world to be trying out this new gradebook because like I said, there will be some day-to-day disruptions when we release new big features. This is for those really engaged, super excited instructors who want to try the new thing and are willing to give us feedback and want to give us feedback. The gradebook, this new gradebook is awesome. It's in a great state. But we want people who are going to be interested and engaged in saying, hey, you know what, this is working really awesome. It'd be cool if you did this. Hey, I think I found a bug. You won't find any right now, I'm telling you that. But I'm just saying, you know, you never know. Challenge me, please. Go find a bug. That's your challenge. So just keep in mind, this really is not something you want to turn on for everyone. You could technically do it, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you have the most adventurous faculty and staff out there in the world. So we have this really great focus group in the community, and we would really like you to join the focus group. In fact, in order to get the new gradebook, you have to join the focus group. And you know how you join the focus group? You contact your CSM. Phones come out. How do you get the new gradebook? You contact your CSM. They'll put you in the focus group. Okay, just so we're clear about that. So this is actually, it's awesome. There are step-by-step tutorials on every single new feature that drops. And this is one of the reasons we want people in the focus group, because we want them to have a heads up. We want them to understand the new stuff that's coming in and not feel like, oh my God, this thing just dropped and I have no idea how to use it. So there's gonna be, this top video actually walks you through the same stuff I'm gonna walk you through today. There's frequently asked questions, there's known issues, there's a place to report bugs, a place to give us your feedback. There's a link to that page that tells you all about Phase 2 if you wanna hear about it. So it's a really sweet resource that we hope you guys will use. So before we get into the new gradebook, let's talk about the release plan for this next phase and the phase after. We're going to go over who has access to the new gradebook at each phase, how to turn it on, when you can turn it on, and whether or not you can switch back and forth between old gradebook and new gradebook. We'll go over that for each phase. So we'll start with where we are today. The new gradebook, I'm going to go slow here. The new gradebook is available in production right now, behind a feature flag. It is available to focus group participants only. So once you're in the focus group, we can have your CSM enable the new gradebook, and then the admin at your institution will have the option to allow this on the sub-account level. And then your admin will have the option to go in and turn this on per course. So like I said, very restricted. This isn't for everybody. The admin is the only person who can turn it on in a course. Not teachers. That's the next question. No, instructors can't, not right now. And you can, while we're in this working on phase 1 phase thing, you can go back and forth as much as you want. Student grades won't be affected. It's just going to be, you're not going to, if the features that are in the new gradebook won't be in the old gradebook, that's going to be the only changes. So during this phase, no problem with switching back and forth. Okay, so phase 1, we're estimating to be completed with the phase 1 at the end of the year, so around the new year. And this will then become generally available. And what that means is it will be a feature flag that will be exposed to all admins to turn on, off, or allow. And then if it's allow, your instructors will be able to turn it on for themselves in each course. So at this point, it's going to be in a place where we're not going to have disruptive features being added. And that's when we're more excited about having the general masses get in there. You will not be able to switch back and forth. And that is because some of the new features we have just won't translate back very well. It'll be a real mess. We'd have to make really gross choices for you if we let you switch back. We don't want to do that. So if you're opting into the new gradebook, and again, it'll be per course, you're in for that once we have phase 1. So phase 2, all these features in phase 2 are purely additive. They will not be day-to-day disruptors. They'll be like, when you go into a menu, oh, there's a new feature there. So it's not going to get in your way at all, and they'll just keep landing between the end of phase 1 and the end of phase 2. We'll just keep adding little features here and there throughout that whole time. And pretty much everything else will be the same. So it'll be generally available again, same state. The account admin will be able to turn it on, off, or allow. Instructors will be able to turn it on and off, and there will be no switching back and forth. And once phase 2 is complete, we're going to deprecate the old gradebook. And we think that's about a year away. So we have about 1 year with the option of using the current gradebook. All right, so all of this information is, I created this little image, and as we move through the phases, we'll highlight each phase. This is in the community, as well as like a video of me basically saying exactly what I just said to you, but probably more concisely and with music. So before I show you the new gradebook, I want to show you these awesome humans. These are the people who built it. And they have done an incredible job. We have a saying, Gradebook Team is best team. They are a lot of fun to work with, and they have, honestly, like this thing is polished. And they're fun. This is not in the community, but I can try and get it in there, because it's pretty fun. Yeah? Okay, because you want to watch it for a while, don't you? All right. Oh boy, I'm not so good with this trackpad. Sorry. Oh, it'll take me a minute. Come on. I'm gonna zoom. I don't know if I can full screen. Can I? Green button? What green button? Oh, this guy. Okay. Okay. Can you see? Should I zoom more, or are we good? Good? More? Okay, one more zoom. Oh, that's kind of crazy. That's a little bananas. I'm gonna go one out, okay? That's too much. Because I don't even know how to look at the screen when it's that big, at least on my screen. Okay, so this is the new gradebook. I'm gonna walk you through all of the basic features here. So the second you land in the new gradebook, you have your options to go to all the other gradebook places. Your Learning Mastery gradebook, individual view, gradebook history. That's all the same as it was. This menu is going to be the most exciting menu. So we have a lot of new ways to arrange the columns. This might be like people's most exciting thing, because you can arrange them. Now you can have, yeah, I knew it. I know. It's a fun one. But we also, do you want to see me do one? Okay. What do you want? How about let's do points? Boom. Points, lowest to highest. Ooh. Arranged by module? Ooh. See, I don't want to hear myself say module again, because my Midwestern accent comes out bad. Sorry. It's in the video. Oh. I have to listen to myself. Yeah, so they can be, but even more exciting by module is that you can filter it by module. So let's just filter down to week 1 module. And then I can add another filter so that I can really get down to like yeah, kind of cool, huh? I'm gonna bring back all my stuff because I wanna have more things so I can show you them. And you can also obviously filter by sections. So arranging by the assignment name, alphabetical, statuses, you actually get to pick the color you want to see, and that color stays with you. So if you have multiple instructors in a course, the colors they pick will be their colors. And it'll be like that from course to course to course. So these are my colors, but you actually can put your own hex code in there if you want like some really, really vibrant colors. You can do that. Or no color. You can be like, you know what, I don't care about late. I'm just gonna have no color for late. So you can actually see behind it, it already changed. See all the green's gone? But I actually care about late, so I'm gonna turn that back on. Oops. All right. Notes columns, the same. You can add them. But unpublished assignments will be on by default. So when you get to the gradebook, did I do it? Yes. Okay. There is an unpublished assignment in here. I just have it sorted differently than I did before. Here, I'll go. Is that what I had? Yeah, so there's an unpublished assignment there. And we'll have a little cloud there, like the same way we have unpublished elsewhere. Soon we have some, and an unpublished word there. So you'll know that it's unpublished, but we know that that's a big question when people first start creating stuff. Like, why isn't anything showing up in the gradebook? And it's because it's not published. So we wanted to default your gradebook to showing the unpublished things. Oh man, I'm sorry, I'm not awesome at this. Trackpad. Okay, so the actions are where we put all the import and export and syncing to the sys. And if you have a special name for your sys, it'll show up there if you've put that in. Now I'm going to go to the student name column. I'm really excited about this stuff. So we pulled the sort out so that when you click on that column header, it doesn't automatically sort every time you click on the header. So now it's a deliberate choice when you're sorting. And you can change how they display right here too. First name, last name, first name. Anonymous is the same. But you may have noticed that the secondary info column is gone, and that's because we've put it in here and we've given you some more options for secondary identifiers. We wanted to make sure you could get that student name right next to the column that you're going to be adding grades to. Oh yeah, it's a login ID and section. So you can use the login ID. Oh God, now you guys all know my email address. Sections, sorry. Or you can do none if you don't want any of that stuff there. And so I'll go to the column headers. There's not a ton of new stuff here, but there's a couple things that are pretty exciting. You can sort by missing and late. They'll just go straight to the top. There must not have been any late ones in there. There, that one has late. And you can also sort by low to high, high to low, the same as you could before. And there'll be more stuff coming into this column eventually, but for now, that's kind of the only new exciting thing there. And then there's the crosshairs, which you guys have been asking for so long. We're highlighting that column and row and the cell, really emphasizing that cell that you're in to make sure you can find yourself And we have a new fun, instead of that modal that pops up where you have to like close it and then open it and close it and open it, we're gonna be introducing some cool stuff here soon that will, actually I'm just gonna let it be a surprise. It's gonna be some really cool stuff here, and this is one of those workflows that'll be very different that we wanna make sure that the people who are using this are comfortable with trying something new. And there's one other place that there will be some new stuff. The late policies, which I know everyone is very anxiously awaiting. So the late policies you'll be able to set your own automatic late policies. There'll be manually marking of late and missing available too. So that'll be a fun one to try. That'll be a big one that lands. And again, it'll require some setting up of your own policies or not, but it will change some things. So we want to make sure people are comfortable with those changes. The only other thing I wanted to show you guys that I think is pretty cool, I'm going to sort this, or I'm going to filter this down again, just so you can see. Okay, so it's filtered. I'm going to go to my home page. And then I'm going to go back to grades, and it's going to be in exactly the same configuration that I left it. So we have view persistence every time you come back. Yay. So that is pretty much it. Contact your CSMs to get in the focus group because we'd love you guys to start checking this out and hear your feedback. All right, we're going to have questions, and I'm going to try really hard to remember to repeat them. So help me with that. Oh, and there's a microphone. Sweet.
I just have a really quick question. You mentioned that you can filter by unpublished, and we will see unpublished assignments.
Yeah.
But there will be a cloud there, and it'll say unpublished.
It'll say unpublished. You'll get good feedback.
So will we have the option to publish it from the gradebook, like click the cloud and publish it, or will we have to go back out and publish it?
Maybe eventually, probably not initially. It'll probably just be, we'll just give you that feedback. But eventually we might be able to do that. That seems like a cool thing.
Okay, thanks.
That's good feedback. Put that in the focus group. I'm pushing it a little hard, aren't I?
Could you tell me if there's an adjusted final grade?
Phase 2. Okay. But yes, adjusting the final, could I tell her if there's an adjusting the final grade? And yes, there is an ability to adjust the final grade in the phase 2.
I may have missed it, but I didn't see any of those annoying tooltip pop-ups that would cover up the cell above.
Yeah, they're out. They're that kind of the information that's actually relevant and valuable in those tooltips will be in that new present.
Is there still links to SpeedGrader?
Are there still links to SpeedGrader? There will be links to SpeedGrader. They're not there right now, but they will come very soon back into the gradebook.
Quick way to remove all filters so you don't have to click and click and click to get back to where you were?
We don't have that yet, but we have been talking about that. Like, you mean to just like, instead of going back to all modules and all?
Yeah, instructors get themselves in a hole and you just give me back to where I was originally and let's
Yeah.
start from the beginning.
Yeah, no, we have been, because we've been using this, and that's kind of a thing that's come up for us too. Are you guys hearing the questions okay? Is it okay that I'm not repeating them? Okay, good.
For the notes column, can they create more than one?
Not yet, but yes, that is part of our plan.
Will it export in the,
So import and export stuff, dang it, I was gonna say this. Import and export stuff, we have a separate initiative to work on all the import and export stuff. It's not necessarily gonna go out with these releases, but we will eventually make updates to import and export. It's just, we're kind of focused on this, getting the UI fixed first, and then we'll move on to import and export. But yes, once we do that, notes, we know that exporting notes is a big, big thing.
So just to follow up on the export, if I do sorting and filtering in my gradebook, that is not the format that will be exported to CSV?
Not yet, not until we do the import and export stuff, yeah.
so we've been asking for a text field in the gradebook. Does the notes sort of hit that mark? Or
Yeah, the
are we
notes,
gonna add a different kind of text field in the gradebook?
no, yeah, the notes column, you'll be able to add as many notes columns as you want and as much text as you want there.
On the messaging in K-12, a lot of our parents want the message, when you message my student too, we want the observers included on those messages because they want to see what messages teachers are sending to their students on their
yeah.
phones, yes.
Yeah, I can understand that. That's a good thing to put in, a good bit of feedback to put in the focus group.
Oh, sorry.
I'm even getting annoyed with myself.
I saw that in the status you could set the status for missing or for late.
Yeah.
How do you put those codes in there, like an MI for missing or a late for missing?
There's actually not codes. So we want you to be able to give a grade and also a status of late and missing. And if we were to do codes like excuse, like you can do now, you can't give a grade and excuse it. But with late and missing, people want to give grades and statuses. So you'll be able to, and it's not in there yet, but you'll be able to choose those statuses, late, missing, excused, probably where that present was, somewhere around there. Trying not to give away too much.
In phase 2, is there any control over the scales or the default, so you can default to mastery and it's, I mean, is there more like the default scale if you want to change that? Is there anything
Default
coming?
scale, what do you mean
Like
by scale?
the percentage scale. in
Oh, the
grade
grading
book.
schemes?
Yeah, the grading
Oh.
scheme, sorry, wrong
No, that's
language.
okay. I just wasn't sure what you meant. I thought I was thinking Zoom for some reason. So grading schemes is something that I don't think it's part of any of this stuff. We have a whole grading scheme project that's just kind of waiting in the wings. But I think that there's some stuff in the community where we ask for grading scheme feedback specifically. So I would look for that because we'll want to make sure when we start that project that we're I don't know what your stuff is about it, but I know there's a lot of flexibility that we'd like to do there. And we've started some work there, but we have a ways to go.
Is there a way, or is there a plan to add I don't know how it would work, like a toggle or a visible read receipt to see if students have actually seen the messages you send them?
Oh,
So
read
in other words,
receipt.
yeah, like a read receipt, kind of something visual that a teacher would know. I sent this feedback or this message, but I don't know if the student ever actually saw it. And,
Right.
And
We do that we can do that in SpeedGrader. We can tell whether or not they've opened the document.
right.
I don't think we can't tell for messaging. I don't know if we can tell that or not because there's so many ways that they can open it up. The only thing I know for sure we can tell is if they've opened up the document. And actually, now that we have more access to the doc viewer, we're going to be able to really let them know let students know when you've made marks on there. So I think that's part of the issue is you don't know if they're looking at your feedback because they don't know that they have the feedback. So I think it'll help once we're able to start notifying them that they have feedback, and then we can continue to tell you when they've opened it. But that's all we can do right now.
Will there be a gradebook feature in the teacher app?
I know there's SpeedGrader in the teacher app, and there is some measure of grading, but it's not an entire gradebook because the grid is kind of tough to do on a screen, or that small of a screen. But I know that they were planning at some point to do grades per assignment, rather than the entire gradebook all in one view.
Will these changes to the teacher gradebook also filter down to student grades, or will their experience change at all?
Eventually, yes. There's a little change that they're going to start noticing here pretty soon. We have these little late and missing pills that they're going to start seeing in the next release. And those are defined currently by just how Canvas defines them. They, like I said, you'll be able to control those labels more in the near future once you get on this gradebook.
Hi, what are the limits on the grade change history?
Oh, actually, I didn't even say that. We're working on grade change history right now, and there will be no limits. I don't think. Is there a limit? I don't think we've hit it yet. It's going to be massive. Like we haven't, yeah. So it's in progress. Yeah. If you want to see anything like it, I think we can probably. I should tell you, there's a couple of gradebook engineers here. If you guys, come on, stand up for a minute. These guys, these are good guys. But if you have questions, they're good folks to ask.
So are you going to cover any extra credit in the gradebook?
The first phase, definitely not. I'm trying to remember if it's in phase 2 or not. When we first scoped this, I want to do all the things, and some things had to come out, and I'm trying to remember if extra credit is in there. It might not be, but it's something we know that we want to do at some point. So if it's not in phase 1 or phase 2, it's not like once we're done with phase 2, we're going to drop the mic and go away. We'll want to keep working on this. So,
are there going to be changes to the student view?
You mean the student grades page?
Yeah.
Not with this first phase. The second phase is mostly still in Gradebook, but we do have designs for a new student grades page. They'll get the new late and missing pills. It's going to be a real slight changes to start. But yeah, we do have designs for it. I think we're probably going to want to do import-export before that, but it depends on how things go.
Hi, I'm loving all the filtering options, but I'm imagining a scenario where our instructors choose a lot of personal views and then
don't realize
lose
it.
their path and don't realize that they've opted out of a lot of things. Is there any way to add a visual cue on any of those drop downs that say, hey, you're on something other than the default?
Than the all. Yes, we actually talked about that too, wanting to make sure they're getting that feedback that hey, this is filtered. This isn't everything. Don't panic. It's still there. It's just filtered out. Yeah, we've talked about doing that. We haven't tested anything yet, but as we're using the filters, we're experiencing this too. And this is such a salesman. This is the kind of stuff that we want you guys to start experiencing and then putting in the freaking community focus group. Sorry. Yeah.
Christy, the late and missing pills, will those go for assignments that are not online submissions? And part 2 to that question, did you say no?
No, not until you have manual ability to do it, because we can't know, if it's not an online submission, we don't know if it's late or missing. So we're going to let you make that call. Like if it's an on-paper assignment, we can't be like, that one was late. Okay. So we're going to let you guys make that call and say, mark this one late or mark this one missing.
Speaking about the thing that's coming out in the next release, next couple weeks.
Yes, yeah, that will only apply to online, and I think maybe one other one. I can't remember maybe one other one, but should just be online. If we can detect if there's a submission, we will make a call of whether or not it's late or missing if there's a due date. Yeah.
Following up on the instructors seeing that they have got filters in place, do those personal settings show through for an administrator who's using Masquerade?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Yeah. I don't think so because it's a personal, we've made it more of a personal view.
Right. I can say, and I'll put this in the focus group as soon as my CSM gets me in there, but helping faculty figure out why they can't see it, if we can see what their settings are, makes this so much easier.
Oh, yeah. That's a good... Oh, never mind. The engineers are telling me they think it'll work. You're welcome.
Okay. I'm wondering if weighted grades will show the same way it does now, or if you have different plans for that.
Yeah.
The weighted grade columns.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dang it. I forgot to show you something. Aw, come on, Christy. Hold on. I'm going to bring more comms back because it's more exciting. So I can move these guys anywhere, and I can move this guy anywhere. Sorry, so your question just made me think of that. We're going to be adding some, the ability to message students who here on these columns, on the assignment total columns too. So there will be some little things, but nothing dramatically different. But if you have ideas, I know where to put them. Where's the microphone?
Right here.
Okay.
Thank you. We're a K-12, so we use quarter grades. One of our issues has been weighted assignments. Is there a way that you can have different weights from one quarter to the next, even when it's a year-long course?
Yeah, there are ways. Either talk to your CSM, like that's like a gross question for me to answer right now, or it's a gross answer. It's a great question. It's a gross answer for me to give right now without some sort of like showing you things. So talk to your CSM, and if they can't help you set that up, have them talk to me, and I have like a whole diagram on how to do that for you, which is way better than me like trying to say things about it because it would sound weird. Whoever's, yeah, go ahead.
Hey, if we're not using the totals columns, is there a way to remove those from the gradebook?
Oh, removing the totals columns altogether?
Yeah, so if we're not using them, some
Yeah.
teachers are confused by what they mean if they're just sitting there at 0.
No, that's interesting. We could probably go there. That's a great piece of feedback to put in the community. But we could probably do something like that. I would imagine we'd have to also remove it from the student's view if we were removing it from the instructor's view, because that would be weird. Okay. Feedback, community.
Christy, I'm Ted. You
Hi,
know
Ted.
me.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Ted. Ted works
I
with
love
us.
hearing all the questions that everybody has about functionality and suggestions and ideas, and we do user research for Christy and the other product managers. We're going to be taking, snapping photos of people's badges as you exit, if you'd be interested in participating in usability studies, interviews, surveys, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, this and everything that I do comes from conversations with you guys and interviews and visits and user testing, and it's all from you guys. So we don't get anywhere, like this isn't just come out of my brain. I don't have like a weird gradebook agenda. Like this all comes from you guys, and that's because of Ted's help with us doing user testing and user interviews. And if any of you ever are willing to have us come chat or just listen to your instructors or just observe your instructors, that helps us make this better. So please tell your CSM you want Christy to come visit, especially if your school's in Hawaii. Just Oh yeah, okay, so Ted's gonna be outside, show him your badge, he'll take a picture and then add you to our willing to participate in user research list. Oh, and KW. I can't see, so just
I'm
ask
all the way at the
questions.
back.
Okay.
I love the link where it said sync to an SIS system.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a list of SIS systems that you're working with right now? Like in the process of?
We have a few really big ones that I know we have. Talk to Oksana because she's the product manager over all the SIS integrations, and she can help you get set up with all of those SIS integrations. You can rename the SIS, so if it's PowerSchool or whatever, you can say, it'll say sync to PowerSchool right there. But yeah, she's a great one to talk to about getting all those things set up.
We got time for a couple more questions if people want to stick around.
There's definitely some back in or up front too.
Hi, yes, I have a question about the SIS as well. We integrate with Banner, and we're having difficulty determining the current from the final grade for faculty. I'm wondering if we're the only school with that issue.
Well,
and if there's
the total column, we actually have a great feature in the total column where you're able to choose whether or not you want to see current, final, or what the students see. And we do a pretty good job of explaining what each one of those grades are.
Is that in the release, the point, 0.5 release?
I don't think so. No, I think it's, is it phase 2? I think it's phase 2.
Phase 2. So
Yeah.
that's an upcoming.
Yep, that'll be coming up. And it'll be a pretty light, I mean, it'll just be an addition to the total column. It'll be in that drop down to make
But it'll be a
that
visual
choice.
they can see.
Yes, it'll be a visual that will explain what those grades are.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hi. So we also had a question about, you said it might be released in the app, but teachers would like one page for the assignment that shows all the students. They could just go down and put the grade in for that one assignment.
Oh yeah, so we have some really cool analytics stuff coming out that's going to do a really good job of breaking down by an
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Okay. Can you guys be a little bit quieter as you're leaving, please? Thank you. So we have some really great analytics stuff coming out that's going to give you a really great visualization of each assignment and where students lie on that assignment and give you some actions you can take based on that visualization. I've been working with them, and we're going to link directly to that. From each assignment here, you'll be able to pull up those individual views of that assignment and how they lay out.
So I think what our teachers wanted was a page where they could actually enter the grades in on that page, or also one like on the individual student page where you saw all the students' assignments. They could put, if they had a student who was out for 6 weeks, just enter all that student's work in on that page as well. So they didn't have to go scrolling across.
Okay, well, that's interesting feedback. You can put
All right,
that
we
in
got
the
time
community.
for maybe one more. Christy, do you want to tell
Okay.
us a good way to continue to ask these questions to you and maybe how, because I feel bad for the people up front that I wasn't able to get to.
No, the focus group is a great way to ask these questions. I feel like that was a setup.
In the sorting feature and display feature, I was wondering, is there a way to display project groups, either by label or to sort grades by project groups?
Oh, not yet, but that is one that has been on our list of things we would like to do. So that like that student name column, we now that we have the opportunity to do things there, we should be able to do that eventually. It's not, again, not planned in phase 1 or phase 2, but arranging the students in there by group is something we would really like to do. Okay, I guess that's it.
I lied. We can do one more.
One more.
We got
one
one
more.
minute. Up front, anyone
There were
really
people
want to
up
ask a
front.
question?
Oh, she's been very, very
Okay.
excited.
Is there any plan to change the default for the treat ungraded as 0 on the student view? The
treat ungraded as 0 is not going to be in here.
No, for this on the student view. You mean you're removing it?
Oh, yeah. I meant I meant in this view. You mean for
The student view of the gradebook, it automatically checks the box
Oh,
that shows the
yeah,
students
okay.
an inflated
You're not
grade.
talking about in this grade book. You're talking about student grades.
It's very confusing, yeah.
So changing the default for if they see current or final.
They basically see a 100% grade if they haven't turned in anything. So they have to realize that they have to uncheck that box.
Right.
And in trainings, the instructors do the same thing. So in trainings, the instructors think, oh, I passed the training, even though they didn't do any assignments.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's rough. Yeah, no, I think I understand what you're talking about. And when we redo the student's grades page, I think that will help. And I also think some of the late and missing stuff we're going to be doing is going to help with that a lot. And the total columns, like clearly understanding that when you're like, this is the grade the students are seeing, and there's no grades. Those I think a lot of the other features we're doing will help with that, but when we do the student grades page, there should be some change. Yeah, that should not happen anymore. When is the student grades page? Ask my boss, because I'd like to know too. Okay, I think I'm done.
Thank
Sorry,
you, Christy.
Focus group. Thanks, guys.